help a lot easier. This performance by rapper Logic at the 2017 MTV Video Music Awards, viewed by almost 40 million people since that day, may have saved an untold number of lives.
The 1-800 song obviously was, I know what it did for other people's lives. You saved lives. What did it do for you?
Yeah, it completely and utterly changed my life. It was the biggest platform I had at that moment in my life, and I wanted to say something.
The song is called 1-800-273-8255, the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's an imagined phone call between someone in pain and a lifeline operator. After the VMA's performance, calls to the hotline went up a staggering 50% from those looking for help, and opened up a national dialogue on mental health that was desperately needed, even more so now with the pandemic.
And I wondered if you thought during this crazy time, unless you're an essential worker, a parent, or a teacher, you have a lot of time to yourself and your thoughts. How's that been for you? Is that a benefit or a burden, would you say?
What a beautiful question, dude. It's kind of crazy because, I'm sorry. I have always been able to talk to my notebook, right? But even then, there are things that I hadn't dealt with. But I see a therapist. I see a therapist once a week. She's the bomb. And it allows me to get these thoughts out. But even before her, I was always still speaking to loved ones and people that I felt close with, even if it was difficult and scary to initiate. So I think that is something that's really important. Not to sound cheesy, but it's okay, if you're at home alone in this pandemic, you're not really alone, man. If you got the internet or a phone or some source, if you could write someone, pen pal, man, get it out. Don't keep it inside.
And now, Logic wants to make it easier for you to not only get those thoughts out, but to find someone to talk to. He partnered with Project Healthy Minds. The founder and CEO, Phil Shermer, was able to join us.
So Phil, if you can, jump in with Logic and I know there's sort of two main goals for the organization. What are they?
The first goal is to shatter the stigma of mental health. And the second is to make it easier for people to find mental health services. We've brought together all of the mental health services that we can find. We've tried to aggregate it in one place, make it really easy for people to find what's right for them.
And this past summer, Logic announced what was right for him was to retire from rapping, after not only releasing his 6th studio album, No Pressure, but also becoming a first-time father.
If I was gonna come back, I wouldn't rap because I'm so over rap, and that hopefully won't be misquoted as everyone likes to do. But I'm more strumming a guitar and hanging out with producer homies and writing lyrics about my life as a father and a man and dealing with anxiety.
If somebody's watching this right now and they're perked up in their chair a little bit listening to our conversation and they're struggling, what do you say to them?
It's hard to see the light, when you're in the depths, in the darkest part of the tunnel. Anything that anybody could be going through alone in the depths of their mind and they feel like they can't get out of it, dude, you totally can. And you will laugh later. It is a real thing. You can 100% get out of it. But it's by making positive steps. You can make it, man.
What a great guy.
It helps to hear other people talk about it. A lot of people are struggling right now. They're struggling in general, certainly during the pandemic. I've struggled for many, many years, and I worry mostly about, as I've said on this show before and other places, about the millions of people who are in this country and around the world struggling in silence. And don't know what to do, don't know that first step. The mental health space is a very large delta between, let's say, pediatric anxiety, where you don't know if it's how bad it is, all the way to depression and suicide and everything in between. It's a large area to navigate. And where I like the conversations that are happening publicly, and people like Logic and people like Project Healthy Minds that aggregate all these services, and at least it's a place to point to for people to go and say, let me just start here. Because bottling it up, we all know, is not a good idea.
It feels so overwhelming, but I love how he's just basically just speak it. Write somebody, write it down. He tells his notebook, just speak it. Get it outside of you is the